Ag Bioscience, the #1 ag tech podcast globally, is now available on video. Hear from leaders and innovators across food, animal health, plant science, ag tech, and agriculture. Mondays at 6 a.m. on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. While you're there, subscribe and leave us a review. It's the Ag Bioscience Podcast with Agronovis Indiana. Get more information at agronovisindiana.com.
The internet changed how we work. AI is changing what work gets done. A bank cut loan processing from days to hours. A student built an AI scheduler, improving on-time delivery from under 70% to over 90%. Most teams know AI matters, but aren't sure where to start. InAI is Indiana's statewide AI adoption effort, built with industry, academia, and community partners, helping you move from understanding to action. Visit inaiready.com.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Monday, July 6th, 2026. I'm Abriana Herron. Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology has launched a program designed to connect industry partners with students to help solve real-world challenges. Managed through the Institute's Department of Mechanical Engineering, the new design clinic gives students the chance to use their senior capstone projects to help area businesses develop solutions such as product development, manufacturing improvements, and automation concepts. Shraddha Sangelkar, Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering and Capstone Project Coordinator at Rose-Hulman, told Inside Indiana Business the program helps companies complete projects that they otherwise may not have time for.
They essentially solve the problem, and we provide them all the resources they would need to be successful.
Rose-Hulman said potential projects could include testing systems, assistive technologies, sustainability initiatives, process optimization, or other engineering challenges that could be addressed within the academic year. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency recently announced it will invest $6.1 million to help Indiana communities assess, clean up, and redevelop contaminated brownfield properties. The funding includes $5.6 million in the Brownfields Multipurpose Assessment and Cleanup Grants, as well as $500,000 in supplemental funding for the Indiana Finance Authority's Brownfields Revolving Loan Fund. The grant will support environmental site assessments, cleanup planning, and community engagement efforts in communities across the state. Recipients include organizations and local governments in Bloomington, Evansville, Clay County, Fort Wayne, Henry County, Lebanon, and several regional planning organizations. A provider of staffing and project services for STEM-related industries is planning to expand its central Indiana headquarters, Governor Mike Braun's office announced Monday. While financial terms of the expansion were not disclosed, STEM DTS expects to create up to 75 jobs in Plainfield by the end of 2029. Founded in 2024, STEM DTS provides a variety of talent solution services for companies, including talent recruitment, executive search, contract consulting, and project management. Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand is made possible by the following.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media podcast network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise at ibj.com to learn more.
Indiana communities are increasingly putting the brakes on new data center developments as local officials work to determine how to regulate the fast-growing industry. Inside Indiana Businesses, Alex Brown has more.
Nearly a third of Indiana counties have moved to restrict data centers, according to Indiana University's Environmental Resilience Institute. So far this year, the institute has identified 11 counties with data center ordinances, at least 17 with temporary moratoriums, and 2 counties, Marshall and Cass, that have banned new data centers altogether. The restrictions come as Indiana continues to recruit major technology investments. Governor Mike Braun and the Indiana Chamber have backed large-scale projects, including Meta's $10 billion data center in Lebanon. But many residents have raised concerns about the facility's water and electricity use, land consumption, noise, air pollution, and whether they create enough permanent jobs to offset those impacts. Janet McCabe, a senior policy advisor with the IU Institute, says local governments are trying to catch up with an industry that's expanding faster than regulations. At the federal level, Indiana Congressman Andre Carson has joined lawmakers in introducing legislation that would place a nationwide moratorium on AI data centers. Carson says stronger guardrails are needed to protect workers, families, and neighborhoods. The debate is playing out in Indianapolis, where the Metropolitan Development Commission voted to recommend new zoning rules for data centers. The proposal now moves to the full city-county council, where a vote is expected in August. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Zimmer Biomet Holdings, Incorporated, has acquired the rights to a drug-free pain-relieving device from a California-based biosciences company for up to $140 million. The Warsaw-based medical technology company will pay $70 million upfront and up to $70 million through December 31st, 2031 in revenue-based milestone payments to Pacira Biosciences Incorporated for its iovera device, Pacira said in a news release. The FDA cleared device uses for cryoneurolysis to relieve pain. Under cryoneurolysis, cold therapy is applied to a targeted nerve, temporarily interrupting its ability to transmit pain signals. And the interim CEO of the Indiana Destination Development Corporation says the state's tourism industry has been on the upswing for the past few years. Tourism has become an economic development strategy that fills hotel rooms, restaurants, and shops statewide, with the most recent data showing Indiana welcomed a record 83.3 million visitors in 2024, up nearly 2% from the previous year. Speaking on Inside Indiana Business with Gary Dick, Amy Howell said the $203 that each visitor spends on average continues to be a boon for Hoosier communities.
It's not residents' money that's being spent on tourism promotion. It's other people's money. And so we're bringing that money into our communities, and that's the economic impact.
Communities throughout the state continue to make investments that help bolster tourism. Last week, Holiday World and Splash and Safari unveiled designs for its $22 million water roller coaster, which marks the largest single attraction investment in the Southwest Indiana Amusement Park's history. I'm Abriana Herron for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.